I'm Paula Andrea Pyle. Welcome back for those of you who continue to watch Mode of Cosmic Therapy. And welcome to all of the new viewers who will be engaged in this next hour of Mode of Cosmic Therapy. Now, what in the world is cosmic therapy? It seems like every single show I start off with trying to define the premise of the show. And each and every time I fall short of doing it because there's no way to adequately examine and dissect and interpret what this show entails. The best that I can do, in fact, the last show I think I did, we talked about better and best and good and bad. But the best that I can do is to show you that within the next hour, whatever occurs is exactly like life. It occurs, and though it seems random and sometimes ransacked, every element fits together perfectly. Now, I must tell you, welcome Mitzi and Sandy, glad to have y'all here today. You know I am. I couldn't do this show without y'all. I love you to pieces. Anyway, getting those accolades out of the way, let me just say this. The last time that I did the show, I was chastised severely for standing in front of the board. No, really, I need to try to back away so that you all can see what it is that I'm writing. I love that. I love that. Even that gesture, and in being told that I needed to back away from the board, you see, I was hoarding the information. I was covering the information. And that's what we do. Things that are so precious to us, we tend to hoard them. We want to keep them to ourselves. And though I have been convinced that I was giving them to you, and I have been, and even the last time, today you are going to get a full view of whatever it is that I write on that paper. Who knows what I will write on that paper? I have no idea. Okay, let's go back to the definition of mode of cosmic therapy. What is it? It is life. It is these next 60 minutes, I'm going to live them. You hear that southern drawl? I'm going to live them if I don't fall dead on the set. You're going to live them if you don't fall dead watching me. And whatever happens and occurs in these particular minutes, nothing else can occur. Nothing. Even the bona fide mistakes that it appears that I make at times, they are part of the beautiful canvas of life. In the same way that those things that you think are mistakes in your life, if they were removed, you'd have a gaping hole in the picture of your life, okay? Those mistakes tend to make what is beautiful, beautiful. Even the beastly things. We talked about that last time. Okay, well, I use astrology, I use numerology, I use psychology, I use theology, I use the Bible. That would be spirituality, wouldn't it? I use English, I use math, I use numerology. I use anything that I choose to use in this 60 minutes, as you do in the run of your day. You choose your preferences, just like I choose mine. But I usually start off with pulling something out of this magic bucket. And this magic bucket of random sayings, whatever comes out of here will pretty much determine the theme of the show. It has never failed yet. I love it because I get it just like you get it. The answer is a difficult one, involving many cumbersome issues. It is not clear-cut and defined. Wow. Wow, Mitzi. Life. Every time I see those F's now, I think of a tree. Since I said them on that show that time, I really do. Okay. Life is difficult. So this little paper is saying, you don't have to agree with me. I don't care whether you agree with me or not. That's not important. Life is difficult, involving many cumbersome issues. Am I doing better? Yay for Paula. Yay. I get a gold star when I leave. It is not clear-cut, or defined. Hey, Mitzi, guess what? We just came up with the definition of what mode of cosmic therapy is. Mode of cosmic therapy, okay, is difficult to explain and filled with cumbersome issues. And it's not clear-cut or defined by any stretch of the imagination. So, my precious friends, we have just defined mode of cosmic therapy. And don't think that I am not beneath using it in each and every upcoming show to try to say what it is. Difficult. Life is difficult with cumbersome issues not clear-cut or defined. Let's see what life is. I'm going to use numerology. Numerology is an ancient science, very ancient science. Mitzi, I'm going to keep the big numbers with it this time. That's a 9. You know those on my other shows. You know this is the hermit. You know he is. Remember how to get rid of pretense? All right. 12, 9, 6, and 5. The vowels, these vowels, you learned them in school, are the heart of the word, according to numerology. Pythagoras, in fact. Okay? And the consonants are the personality of the word. Did you know that words are alive? Did you know that, Mitzi? Words are alive. In fact, I'm going to tell you in just a moment what they are, but let's do this first. 9 and 5 is a 14, and in the tarot card, that's temperance, that's balance, or the need for balance. And what is this, 18? That's the moon. That's traveling that deep psychological journey that we all go through while we're here in this nebulous sphere. And what do you think it comes up to? 32. Whatever that last show was, that word was 32. I cannot remember what it was, but it's the exact same word as life. This 32 means experience. Man's experience. Man's interpretive experience. Okay. Now, what was it I said I was going to do? Do you remember? I don't have a clue. So we'll move on. All right. Now, I'm going to use a little bit of astrology today. I think I am. Let's see what I'm going to do to define this day. Let me look at something. What are we doing? What are we doing on this day? All right, let's look at, that's not today. This is today. All right. We are going to look at, that's a good thing. (17 degrees Cancer. Now, whenever you see this number, and I do this a lot, I do it a whole lot. But numbers mean certain things. This number means the hitman. And yes, truly, it means the hitman. Means some targeted action. Now, you might think of that as a person and a gun. Of course, that's one interpretation of a hitman. But you know what another targeted action is? Writing on this paper. That was a targeted action. Everything that you do is a targeted action of some sort. Some of the things that you do are conscious, very little of them, very few of them. So let's look at why we have chosen 17 degrees. Can I move this chair or not? Yes? Okay, I just want to move it a second. I mean a smidgen. All right. So let me see which book I'm going to use for 17 degrees. This is a pretty good book. Let's see if we won't go with this one. 17 degrees Cancer. Let's see what we're talking about today, Mitzi. A woman working busily at a spinning wheel. I'm going to try to stay seated until I read it, okay? I really am. Do you hear me, Sandy? You don't have to cut my head off again. I mean, I cut my head off because I jump up and down so much. All right, I'm staying down, Mitzi. A woman working busily at a spinning wheel. Trance states as natural evolution. Uh-oh, I lied. Okay. Spinning wheel. Well, before I go any further, you know I'm going to break it down. Oh, I know what I was going to do, Mitzi. I said I didn't have a clue, now it's back to me. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Nothing ever leaves you. It's just that when you try to say something, and it's not the moment for you to say it, it's because it's going to be said at another time that it's more relevant and pertinent to the situation, regardless of you trying to think that it works in this situation. So what I was going to say 2 minutes ago went away so I could write spinning wheel on this paper and then come back to it. I asked you if you knew that words were alive. That's what I asked you, right? Well, they are. They are nitrogen flames. And if you don't believe it, the next time you get in a heated argument, you feel how much they burn you. All right? And it's the same thing, the same premise, regardless, with words, because if you're being flattered, you can feel your ego just rising. So whether you're thinking you're being burned or you're being elevated, the words are alive. Let's see what they are. My favorite thing to do in all the world. Mitzi brought it up to me the last time that I dropped an E down here to the bottom. Changed transformation into something else. But it was still the same thing. It's always the same. 19, there's your 19, Mitzi, you were looking for. 14, 15, no it ain't, it's 20. 14, 15 is 20. You don't get it this time, Mitzi. But what do you get? You get a 26. Your birthday. An 8. Control. Not that humans have any issues with control. 6. Conflict. I always put that conflict. Uh-oh, I'm standing in front of it again, huh? But also 6 is the number of beauty. It's the number of art. Okay? And there is conflict in beauty. In fact, you know, some of the most beautiful people in the world have lived lives of conflict and tragedy. Beauty. We'll do that. Art, let me see, 6. 20 words. What are shin in Hebrew? You know, it's the rising from the dead. It is another vehicle of transformation. But what happens is, because words, they're very, very powerful, but having the 8, which symbolizes eternity, we want these words to mean something. And sometimes people use words, and then the next week, the same words do not apply. Did you follow that? If you did, you're quicker than a jackrabbit. Let's get back to, I deviated a little bit. Spinning wheel. I'm going to bring all this back in just a moment. I'm sure I am. Oh, that's pretty, W. 1, 7, 9, 5, 5, 9, 5, 7, 5, 8, 5. Listen in fives. 3, 18, 23, 28. That's my favorite number in the whole world. Well, we got 8, 13, 18, 23, 35, 43, 46. Okay, let's do it again just to make sure. Yeah. 10. No, I mean 18 and 10 is 28. 8, 13, 18, 23, 30, 35, 43, 46. According to the I Ching, Yi Jing, but I Ching, 46 is the number of pushing up. Struggle. Well, for a plant, it's not. Well, a plant does struggle. I mean, our interpretation is that it struggles. But this particular thing is saying that sometimes we must push through the ground, the hard soil, like the plant does. You know, it's down here and it's germinating and all what it does. And then it has to push through that hard soil, that crusted soil that's out here, because it's in the dark. You know, it's in the dark where all things occur. And then we